Hello and welcome to Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends, and today we are watching the Call of the Arbiter episode 5, which is actually the episode about the Arbiter. So we've already read the Arbiter's story. If you watch the first few videos in the series, you know that I read the lore that's in the game as well, the champion lore for the various champions. We already read the Arbiter's lore at the very beginning. So one of the things is we know she's called the Herald of Lumaya. Lumaya and Siroth seem to be the opposing godly forces in this world. Lumaya's the good force. Siroth's ostensibly the evil force. We don't really know that story. Maybe today we get a little bit more of that background. So yeah, why don't we just jump right into the episode and we'll see what this one's all about.
4. Enough to begin.
So that's a slightly different opening.
It is time you knew me.
Inspiring synth music. I like that.
Not the average human.
We are in something of a hurry.
All right, so as much as I'm enjoying this fight, and it's kind of fun, right? It's interesting to see that the 4 starter champions, they don't know each other yet. But Gaelic helped Athel there, right? So, and she didn't seem, I mean, she seemed a little bit put out by it, like she doesn't want help, you know, but she didn't seem disturbed by the fact that it was an orc helping her. So I wonder if they've already met, or if they haven't met yet. Who knows? And Gaelic like followed the call of the Arbiter a good, I don't know, 20 years ago, right? Because it seems like Athel's maybe the youngest of the 4, but she's at least a little bit older than when she left the Sacred Order. So she's, you know, maybe at the youngest, she's 18, 19 years old, something like that. So, you know, a long time has passed. What's Gaelic been doing in all those years? You know, we don't know yet. So I'm very curious to see what happens next. I'm enjoying the fight. I want them to kind of get through it and see what happens next.
I once had a question. I wondered if there were any beings alive who could see things as they really are. Ones who would keep the universe from falling apart. Long have I searched. I will show you why. From where does evil originate? Are good and evil present in every moment? With each passing second offering a new choice between light and dark. It gets harder and harder to distinguish the light from the dark.
Super cool animation.
A black stain has seeped into the soul of the world, corrupting it. Now the darkness rises. It must be resisted. Few are left to answer the call. Long ago, I was charged with bringing light into this world.
Okay, so super cool scene, very cool animation. I also really like the questions that she's asking. Good versus evil and all that stuff is well-trodden territory. So it's always nice when people ask slightly different questions. It's not that they're completely original, but at least they're a little bit more thought-provoking. So the other thing that was really cool about that scene is we saw a lot of characters. We saw Archmage Helmet, definitely. I'm trying to think of who else we saw. We might have seen more to Macabre. There were definitely some additional champions who were in that scene. I'm not sure of all of them. Maybe Hope was there. I forget. So it'll be fun to look back. I'm going to go back and look at that scene again after the episode and try to pick out all of the champions who are in the game who are in that particular scene. Now, that scene is an ancient scene, which maybe gives us two different timelines. There might be heroes who are in the game from the first or second Great Wars, then there's obviously the current timeline where we have the starter champions.
Each time that I have come to fight the darkness, a great toll has been taken. And now I fear that to appear in this world costs too much. That is why I have chosen you. But you will not be alone. Vested in my armor, my sword, my shield, is a power far greater than any darkness. Find these, and I shall return to the world again, to stand with you, to light the spark that will cast out the darkness. Stand with me, stand together.
That scene, this end scene, this picture reminds me a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy when they all end up voting to, basically commit suicide to save the universe or the galaxy. And, Rocket's like, oh, now we're all standing. We're all a bunch of idiots standing in a circle. This kind of strikes me as that, she just raised it up. It's like, okay, great. But it's just the four of them. They're just looking at each other like, hey, we did something cool. That being said, even though the end moment is kind of funny, this is a cool scene. This was maybe my favorite episode. I think the episodes are getting better as we go along and we get more backstory. The fight was kind of cool. It was kind of fun, but we get to see a little bit of the Arbiter's history. And now we know what they're called together to do. These four are called together to collect her armor. And when they collect all of her armor, it seems to have the power to summon her from whatever realm she currently resides in, make her, corporeal again. She also questioned whether or not it was worth it, which is kind of interesting. It costs her It costs the Arbiter something to come back and fight these battles again and again and again. So one of the things that was written about her in the lore is that she is an eternal. She has an eternal vigil and eternal vigilance, right? But that takes a toll to constantly be on guard against evil and to see it always come back. Maybe that's the source of her questions. She's getting more and more weary of the fight, and she's questioning, how does it keep coming back if we keep defeating it? And what's the purpose? What's the purpose in defeating it? What do we accomplish? Is it worth it? So that is interesting. I think that's a little bit of a deeper question than sometimes we get in the, relatively common good versus evil fantasy kind of debate, right? So I don't know that there's a whole lot more to go over in this episode. I don't think there's any lore that we need to read right now. There are some questions that I have that I'm hoping will be answered in the next couple of episodes. One is the relationship between Gaelic and Athel. Do they know who they are to each other yet? And what's Gaelic been doing in the 18 or 20 years in between the first episode and this current episode? Will we ever get that story? I don't know. That'll be kind of interesting. Also, what's been going on with like the orc clans and Artak and the war of reconquest? Is it still going on? Have the orcs been defeated? Has Artak given up his quest? So there are questions of that. And what about Godseeker Aniri? Is she still looking for Athel, or has she have kind of let her go? So there's definitely some cool things there. I don't know. We only have 30 minutes left of episodes remaining, and we still have a lot of other things to cover. And if you look at the episodes, they're not really, we've got some other characters now. We've got Jizzo, Newt, Allure, Bet Alcazar, and then we finally have the tower. So I don't know if we're going to continue to get background, or if these are characters that the 4 starter champions are going to encounter on their quest for the Arbiter's armor. We'll have to see. But I'm definitely excited about seeing where it goes. So again, just like in the last episode, please, 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 in the comments below, let me know what you're thinking. I want to have a conversation about this. I don't have anybody to talk to about this either. I only have one friend who plays this game a little bit. And, so the lore is something that I've been very excited about for a long time. Once they announced that they were putting it into the game, I was like, all right, this is great. I'm enjoying the animated series, even though obviously it's imperfect. Imperfections are part of art. That's fine. But I'm definitely enjoying the series. I'm getting more excited as each episode passes. So let me know what you're thinking. What questions do you have? What do you think's been going on? And what are you excited to see, happen in the next few episodes? So if you put those down in the comments below, or definitely like the video if you're enjoying the series, subscribe to the channel. I will be getting back to my gameplay content very shortly, but I do want to cover this community event as it's happening. And obviously, we've got the last episode in just 2 days' time. So this is my focus right now. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I've been Colred. I will see you in the next video very shortly.